Imagine for a moment a time when women were so oppressed that they weren't even allowed to study the ever-growing field of mathematics. But what happens when a brilliant mind refuses to be silenced?
Over my dead body!
Sofya Kovalevskya was an empowering trailblazer who did not only break the rules set by society, but rewrote them entirely. This is her story. A brilliant mathematician, writer, and the first woman in Europe to earn a doctorate in mathematics, Sofya was a mathematical prodigy. But that doesn't mean she didn't face immense hardships on the journey. So even as a kid, Sofya was not typically happy in her Russian home. She was often forgotten about as the middle child of her older sister Anya and her younger brother Fedya. She felt neglected. However, in her childhood troubles, she also discovered the world of mathematics. She would often find herself studying her father's old calculus notes, and when she turned 14, she decided to teach herself trigonometry. At this point, everyone around Sofya knew she was far too bright not to go to schooling, so they sent her to school in St. Petersburg. And after high school, she furthered her knowledge at two different universities, the University of Heidelberg and the University of Göttingen. However, it was under Karl Weierstrass of the University of Berlin that she would start to reach her full potential. Weierstrass immediately understood the sheer genius of Kovalevskya, something many prior professors couldn't, and spent 4 years working with her. In that time, Kovalevskya produced 3 papers, including her best work called On the Theory of Differential Equations, which also had the honor of being published in Krell's Journal, the oldest mathematical periodical. But without Karl Weierstrass, Sofya would have never been able to accomplish so much, and paid her gratitude by saying, quote, "These studies had the deepest possible influence on my entire career in mathematics. They determined finally and irrevocably the direction I was to follow in my later scientific work. All my work has been done precisely in spirit of Weierstrass." And finally, after years of repression and displaying resilience, Sofya was awarded with a PhD from the University of Göttingen. And that's really Sofya Kovalevskya's life in a nutshell, but most people may hear her story and not understand the true impact Kovalevskya had on the world of math. As we know, she was the first woman in Europe to gain a doctorate in mathematics, but she was also the first to join the editorial board of a scientific journal and the first to be appointed professor of mathematics. Kovalevskya's work on differential equations stands as one of her most significant contributions. These equations are essentially used to describe a wide range of phenomena, ranging from heat and sound to fluid dynamics and even between the behavior of financial markets. Her paper on the theory of partial differential equations laid the groundwork for solving complex problems in both theoretical and real-world mathematics. All this is not even to mention how big of a mark she made with the Cauchy-Kovalevskya theorem, a cornerstone of modern analysis. This theorem provides the conditions in which certain types of partial differential equations have unique solutions. The theorem became a crucial tool in fields like quantum mechanics, where understanding the behavior of particles depends on solving such equations, and in general relativity, where they are used to describe the curvature of space-time. Engineers will often rely on these mathematical principles in designing structures and optimizing systems in mechanical engineering. Without her pioneering work, many of today's scientific and engineering advancements wouldn't be possible. Her mathematical brilliance truly reshaped the field, influencing generations of researchers and mathematicians. So, if Sofya Kovalevskya was such a remarkable mathematician and greatly helped to shape the future of mathematical science, what makes her so unknown to most of the world? Well, it's largely because Sofya was a woman in a male-dominated field of mathematics. At the time, women were actually considered to be intellectually inferior and were often excluded from academic institutions and societies. Not to mention the immense barriers she had to overcome just to study mathematics, such as entering a false marriage to leave Russia and pursue education abroad, along with her struggle for financial stability due to her husband Vladimir's death by suicide. This lack of historical celebration of women in STEM has cast Sofya away as an unsung hero of the 19th century, despite her work being just as, if not more influential than her male counterparts. I think more people should know about Sofya Kovalevskya, not just as a mathematician, but also as a writer, an advocate of women's rights, and an activist for systemic political change. She composed novels, plays, essays, what couldn't she do? Sofya's legacy proves that brilliance and resilience can break barriers, inspiring us to strive for a future where no genius goes unrecognized.